I recommend you do is I put stickers in the center point of this board, the center of the rocker. And what that does is it teaches me and tells me where neutral is, the neutral gear on this board. So when I paddle this board, I always find myself in the sweet spot of this rocker. So this neutral gear is where you would stand when you're just basically paddling in any conditions. And it's always back to this position whether you're in flat water, rough water, or whatever. This is the neutral position. Now we'll go into second gear, what I call second gear. And that would be about 6 to 8 inches forward on from your center neutral rocker. Okay, what this does is pushes the rocker forward and lets the board sit closer on the front of the trough of the wave. I use this position when I'm paddling in very small chop or upwind. This is a very effective position to put the rocker or the board so you can drive into the wind or push the rocker down into small waves. What it does, it allows the rocker to fit in the small chop. But we've got to be careful utilizing this gear and forward on the rocker, because if the swell gets large and you get into it, you can start to pearl the nose. That's where you step back into what I call third gear, which would be back here about 8 inches behind your neutral zone that we've set up. Now this zone we use when the water gets really rough and you want to get on the back side of the rocker. Now one trick that I use is when catching bumps is you can basically step back to do quick gear changes by just moving one foot. If you're uncomfortable moving your whole self, you can move either forward or backwards and change the rocker aspect while you're in the bump to do it on the fly. Now let's say we're in some really big water in a big ocean and you're back here in third gear and you're catching a big bump. You can even step back even further on this board and go right into your surfing stance, which is what I recommend. And that's the fun part of this board. Once you catch these waves, you can go into your surfing stance and actually turn this board like you would a regular surfboard in the open ocean. It's a lot of fun moving back and forth on the rocker, utilizing this board to get the best speed. Hey Malika, how do you like the new board?
Love it.
Right on. So you feel how the gears and the rocker and the whole thing plays out as far as a performance board and how it works, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So now what we're going to do with Malika is set her up for a stroke, a racing stroke. And what we want to do is we want to bend our knees a little bit when we start racing. And you have to engage the abs a little bit more. Because what we're going to do is we don't want to use the back as much to support the back. We have to tighten up the front abs. And so what that does, it then supports your whole torso. And that's where you really get the full core exercise out of this sport. And because you're engaging the ab, now you can drive the top arm and support yourself. So what you want to do is let's start out, Malika, by twisting your body. So we'll twist a little bit like this and see where your top arm is to start out. It's right in front of your chin. Just go. Yeah, and you're twisting out. Good.
The elbows bent that much?
You can shorten up there. There you go. Yeah.
The
Okay.
top elbow bent that much?
Yeah, I drive. That punch right there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we bend our knees slightly, we engage the abs to strengthen them to support your whole torso so you can really throw a hard twist upper body. What we're trying to do in racing is use the big muscles of the body instead of just the arms. They don't fatigue as quickly. So Malika, what we're gonna do is we're gonna twist into it, set the blade, drive the top arm and release it right at the foot. Go ahead. Because we're in training mode here, we're just holding the blade just for technique wise. So what Malika is going to do is twist into it, set the blade, drive and come out at the hip. So it actually, what happens is the blade, when it goes through the water, it draws a big D right here. Drive, release and around. One of the reasons why we don't go back too far is if we come back right here, the paddle is not efficient. It's pulling the water up and pushing the rocker down. So the way the paddle is designed is to come through the water, release out the side at the hip, and come around and set again. So we're punching the top arm, releasing to the side. And that recovery is clean and slow. So you can explode, relax, all the way through. Coming out right about at the foot. Okay? You can get a longer reach by choking up on the paddle a little bit more if you need to get out a little bit further. Now let's say we're going into the wind. You can choke down on the paddle, bend your knees a little bit more, and go into the wind doing the same stroke. But we're always doing that punch and drive, utilizing that shoulder. See how she engages her shoulder to drive and pull the blade through. This will be a more efficient stroke for you when you're going long distance in racing. What a lot of people don't realize is how important the rocker is on a board. The reason why ruddered boards are great, but you're not able to utilize the rocker really because you're stagnant because you got to work the rudder. But if you have a board that's designed to be controllable based on its bottom, you can utilize the rocker for the maximum speed in the conditions that you're in. Nice, nice. Hey Brian, I got finished telling everybody about the Vortice, so you want to give them any input on your feelings on this and how it works?
Yeah, whatever he said.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Make sure you download all 4 videos of the Vortice XP series, starting with Versatility with Dave Parmenter and Brian Kealana, Paddling Techniques with Todd Bradley and Malika Dudley, Do's and Don'ts of the Care for your Vortice XP with Karel Tresnick, and Racing Tips and Techniques with Todd Bradley. Enjoy.